Alright guys, welcome back. Luck be have it, I do not have to work today. We've been working a lot of Saturdays lately, but I figure I'm going to do a video on me, how I got started in scrapping, why I continue to do it, and how I do it. I'm actually on my way over to the farm now to go and get the small trailer because the better half found a island for the house and some other stuff she wants to get, so we're going to be off to doing that later tonight. But anywho, what got me thinking about doing it today is I actually just picked up some stuff from a buddy of mine's place. He's one of my regular suppliers for scrap metal. But anywho, I've known people over the years who have scrapped metal, and I never really thought much about it before. But after I bought the house I have in now and got started at the fire department, one of the guys I got to become real good friends with there, he did it, and I'd help him out with it, load stuff up and help them unload up at the scrap yard that we go to. And after seeing what he was getting paid for him, and bear in mind he was only using a 3/4 ton Chevy pickup with an 8-foot bed, I was like, well, what the heck, I'll give it a shot and see if it's anything that might spark interest for me. Well, then another friend of mine that lives just over the hill, he's got some land that there was some scrap metal that his son was stockpiling because he was doing it for a while, but then he got himself a really good paying job and he just didn't have the time for it anymore. So he calls me up and said if I knew anybody who wanted to haul it out of there. Oh, hey, heck, why not? I'll take a shot at it. So I told him I'd take it, and I got a hold of another friend of mine who had a 14-foot tandem axle trailer, which about a year and a half ago I ended up buying, now. Asked him, hey, can I borrow it? And he didn't have a problem with it, so I used my dad's 3/4 ton Dodge pickup with an 8-foot bed in this truck, and we went and loaded up the trailer and the truck pretty heavily, and we hauled up. And seeing some of the stuff that was on there, I was like, I didn't think I was even gonna make $100 off the load. It just didn't look like it weighed as much as it did. Well, lo and behold, get there, get on the scale, get weighed, going empty off, weighed coming back off of it, and went in. I ended up making 100 and, well, I'm gonna round it up to 170. And I'm like, well, heck, that's pretty good considering I was hauling tin, which is the lowest paying material they have. Now, we didn't get everything loaded from that property. There's a bucket, a 5-gallon bucket full of stainless steel hinges. There's clean aluminum, there's some dirty aluminum, so there's plenty more stuff to be had. Well, I took one of their price sheets and started looking over all the different materials they have. And like I said, tin being the lowest paying of them all, kind of got bit by the bug, as Marty would say. And he goes, and I guess you're probably going to start doing it now too. Oh yeah. So then I didn't get around to haul much more after that until that fall, when my friend Boomer, who had the trailer, comes to me and he says, you still want that 14-foot trailer? Like, yeah, I do. Because I really wanted it. The trailer pulls nice, it maneuvers great. And he said, well, I found myself a 16-footer with some kind of a lift assist for the gate, end gate, that he picked up, and said he didn't got room for 2 trailers. So he said if I wanted it, I could have it for $900. Well, I I went ahead, bought it off them. That's when I started hauling more. And each time I hauled up there, I always was getting more and more payouts. And you know, that is part and due to keeping an eye on the market, what they're paying, and this and the other. And so for the first few loads I just always did straight tin, and then I started getting in copper, some brass, which I have not cashed in any of the copper or brass that I have, because I'm hoarding that, because that's like the two highest on the pay list that you can get paid for out of them. So I've been stockpiling my copper and brass, and I run mostly tin, clean aluminum, dirty aluminum. I kind of stockpile rotors because they can pay quite a bit as well. I got some short steel, and basically after I made the decision I really wanted to start to get back into farming, I figured, well, this will work good for helping get equipment, keep up with the you know, the upkeep on them, ordering parts, this, that, and the other. And I am actually preparing a load right now for the first week of March, because I have that off for vacation. And if things work out, maybe I'll be able to get 2 runs in. But how I like to do scrapping, I kind of perfected it a little bit since I've started. Is I like to get like refrigerators and washers, dry stuff like that, because you can fill them up with small stuff and make them heavier, because you get paid by weight, and they work good for the tin side of everything. I've gotten lawn mowers where I strip them down, because you get some clean aluminum, and you also get dirty aluminum, which is priced a little bit more than tin. And clean aluminum is priced almost a lot more than tin and dirty aluminum, which basically dirty aluminum is aluminum that has metal still in it, and so on and so forth, which kind of is the same ordeal with brass and all that. But so I tear them down. I actually tore down a transmission out of an early 2000 Chevy pickup. I have another one to go get and tear down as well. But then I got my short steel, which I got to load up and take to my one buddy that's not far, that's actually just down the road from me, to use as cutting torch to cut it down into smaller pieces, because some of them are pretty heavy. But if you do it right, you can make pretty good money at it. You just can't load everything up as tin and expect to get paid a premium for it, because that's not how it works. You gotta know what you're doing, know how to do it, and all that. Now, I might not always necessarily have the time to process everything, but I do it when I get to it. And it works out, because if you have patience and you do it the right way, you can make out really well. And it adds up. It really does add up. It's basically free money. You just got to do the work. And I never thought in a million years I'd be wanting to do scrapping, but when I tried it for the first time, I'm like, well, heck, there's really nothing to this. You just got to be smart about it. And now I'm still doing it now. I think I've been doing it for almost 2 years now. And I don't pay anything for the scrap metal. There are people around here that do, but you know, you got plenty of people that are just like, get this out of here. Okay. And I got regular people that, like my friend that I got some from today, he's one of my regular suppliers, and I got other people and all. But you know, because if I'm paying for scrap metal, it kind of depletes like my overall goal with it. But yeah, so if there's anybody who does it or doesn't but has thought about it, that kind of gives you a little insight of how I do it and everything like that. So I actually, as a matter of fact, another thing is I just tore down a V6 motor from, I can't remember what foreign car it was, but just in the heads alone there was aluminum on that. And then engine blocks themselves actually are in a price category all their own, and they can bring pretty decent amount too. Oh, yeah, it's not for everybody, but you know, I do it for the extra money for the farm equipment and stuff like that. So I guess that's really all I'm about to say about it. When I haul my load up, I'll do a summary on how I made out and what all I took and all. So I have gotten some pretty unique things given to me too, scrap, and actually 2 of them are brass, which if I can remember to, I'll do a video on them, because the one is actually an old fire nozzle, an all brass fire nozzle for like 1.5 inch line, so it's definitely old, but I kept that. And there's this really big brass ball that I actually do want to get on video and see if any of you guys might know what it is, because I'm not even sure. But I do have that somewhere. But yeah, so if you guys have any questions in regards to it or anything like that, drop them in the comments, and I will catch you guys on tomorrow's video. And I hope you all have a good night, and hope you guys survive in the cold really well. It actually warmed up pretty good here. Currently it's 23 outside, so I will talk to you guys tomorrow.